Hello and
Really?
welcome
What?
back to Frame Buffer, episode 3. I'm Jeffrey. That's Ryan. Got a couple things to talk about today, starting with more good news. Good
Good
news.
news. We
Just
have good news today.
kinda. I guess it depends on who you ask. Depends on your perspective. Um, Switch 2 pre-orders are going out on the 24th of this month. So if that's something you're wanting to pick up or we're looking forward to, that's uh
That's in two
That's in
days.
2 days. As of this recording, that's in 2 days.
It might be tomorrow if you're watching it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it'll
Um.
be tomorrow's tomorrow.
So, I guess small little victories as they occur. They didn't increase the price of the console. It's still 450. Everyone was kind of speculating that it was going up. Hey, now. Everyone was speculating. It's like, oh, it's going to go up $50, or doomsdayers were saying it's going to go up 100 or 150. And I've even seen some people be like, I'm looking forward to paying $700 for my Switch 2, but not the case. Still 450 or 499 if you're picking up the Mario Kart bundle. So we'll take a win. That's something.
Is it a win though?
It's not a loss. Come on, all things considered, the way the trajectory of things have been going, just to hear that something has remained the same price as originally advertised, it's it's a win.
Yeah. Pray they don't alter the deal any further.
Yeah, no, for real. Um, that being said, where there's wins, there's plenty of losses. Uh, Almost
Oh
all of the
boy.
accessories have seen some sort of price hike. Um, the games and the console are like the only thing that hadn't seen any sort of like price increase from their original announcement. Things
Yeah.
like the Pro controller went from 80 to 85. Joy Cons went from 90 to 95. So a pair of Joy Cons is now $95. Um, there's just a lot here where like the charging grip for the Joy-Con 2s are 40, $14 for the straps. Um,
So
yeah, it's just
I feel like, I mean, we saw this coming.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So again, I don't see in a way, I mean, if you think about it, this is the strategy that you want to go with because you gotta the barrier to entry to even play anything is you have to buy the console, right?
Hmm.
So it doesn't make sense to increase the console price because if you increase the console price, less people are going to jump over that hurdle for the barrier to
Right.
entry. You get them with the accessories. So you got to think of it like, well, little Jimmy
It's always
convinces
little
his
Jimmy.
parents. So it's little Jimmy, little Timmy, little Billy.
Hmm.
They convince their parents to get them the Switch. Um, and then they have the Switch, and they're like, okay, well, I have to have a controller now. I have to have this. I have to have that. And then all of a sudden, those little $5 editions, $10 editions don't. Basically, it creeps up on you. Whereas, like, if they had
Oh
just
yeah.
increased the Switch itself by $50 or $100, that would have caused a lot more outrage. But because it's on the accessories, I don't think people are going to notice. It's the boiling frog analogy.
Yeah, yeah. No, for real. Which
So
honestly, like, if I were in Nintendo's shoes, thinking, how are we gonna make up the difference with the new um like taxes or tariffs coming in. How do we counteract that to where we're not taking an absolute loss? And they probably
that's how you
are
do it.
taking some loss because, like, depending on where these are being manufactured, um, but they can't eat all of the costs. So to throw it into accessories, I think is like the smartest play they could have taken, given the situation.
It's
Um,
kind of how you have to do it.
yeah, so it's all around just a really terrible situation. But I don't need another pair of Joy Cons outside of the one that comes out of the box. I don't need the wheel set or the camera or another dock or an all-in-one carrying case. So it's like tax the
But you need
crap
a
out of
pro
these.
controller.
That's the one thing. Well, they did say that the Pro Controller 1 for like the Switch 1 does work with the Switch 2. So if
Oh,
you
I got like 4 of
yeah,
those.
so if you're happy with your Switch 1 Pro Controller, then you
What features really come with the new Switch controller?
um as far as I know, off the top of my head, it's just the back paddles. There's like the macro buttons behind the controller that like
Oh, kind of
most
cool.
yeah. I think most controllers are well, I say most, but the DualSense and the Xbox controllers don't have them unless you're buying like the Pro or Elite versions of those controllers, which are like $200 or something like that. But like any sort of like 8-bit dough nowadays has those back paddles for macros and stuff. So it's pretty neato to see Nintendo jump on that. I was really hoping actually on that conversation when they showed the back paddles. I was like, that'd be really dope if they were actually like assigned buttons and not just macros. But they ended up being macros. So
Yeah, I mean, there would have to be additional keybinds and stuff,
yeah.
but I mean, maybe I just won't buy a Switch 2 Pro controller. I mean, I'm not at this point. I'm not even buying the console, so unless something I want comes out. So I mean, it's
I'm in a weird spot on the Switch 2 right now, and I'm flip flopping constantly. Um, like internally in my brain, I'm like, I don't need it right now, and Donkey Kong's not coming out for a month, and even then, I can probably wait it out. But then another part of me is like, if you don't get it now, then there's two like potential factors at play, like scalpers being number one, like how many are coming out, versus how many are going to be available, um, or
yeah. But I plan to buy it like maybe a year in. They're not gonna still be like.
I don't know if I can wait a year. I don't know if I have the self control to wait a year. Like especially if like Donkey Kong's coming out and Metroid Prime 4 is coming out this year. I want to play these games enough that I'm just like I can in my head I can justify going in on it. Um, but more than that, I'm kind of flip flopping back and forth because I've talked and talked and talked about my absolute disdain toward Mario Kart World and its pricing. That being said, I think Mario Kart World is it's worth $50, which is what it costs if you buy that bundle, right? But hold on, don't give me that look. Hold on. I am struggling internally because like, oh, but if I buy the bundle, then that's a sale that they get to put on their numbers of we sold 800 million copies. And I know I'm just like one guy, but if everyone has the mentality that I have, then they do make 80 million sales. I understand, but I'm looking at Mario Kart World and I'm like, that's a $50 game. I'll pay $50 for Mario Kart. I'm not paying 80. And here's the thing. After the Mario Kart Direct, they at like the tail end of it, they were like, "Oh, here's the Mario Kart World bundle with the Switch 2 for only $50 past the retail of the console." And at the very bottom of that promotion in that video is a small little white text that says this bundle will only be available until fall 2025. So after fall, they're not manufacturing for the Mario Kart bundle. So after fall, they're not doing the bundle anymore, and you're going to pay full price for Mario Kart. So now I'm in a spot where I'm like, do I want Mario Kart? I do want Mario Kart. It looks like a lot of fun. Is it worth $80? No, it's not. That's an objective fact. Especially after that direct, dude.
They're getting you with the FOMO. They're getting you with the FOMO.
But it's not okay. I don't think
Limited
it's
time only. Sorry.
It's not really a sense of FOMO because like so I'm trying to gather my thoughts here.
They're getting you with a limited time only offer.
It's 50, right? I don't want to pay for Mario Kart in a year and still pay 80 because Nintendo games don't go down. To me, Mario Kart is worth $50. I paid 60 for Mario Kart 8 twice, once on the Wii U and then once on Switch.
Yeah, but you're gonna pay $80 for all those other games that now you have a console for.
So are you. When you buy it a year later. It doesn't make a difference when you
But
buy
I
it.
only want to buy I only want to buy the console for Smash.
Okay. So when it's Smash, it's now it's okay.
So it, the thing is, if you ask me, is Mario Kart worth $80? No.
No,
Is Smash worth $80? Yes. Yes, it is.
it's just
I mean,
we talked
look at
about
all
this.
the content. Look at all the content that came with it.
It didn't come with it. You had to buy it separately.
Okay, but all the content that came in the base game, you're right. You bought
You
fighters
had to buy
passes
two
and
fighters
stuff,
passes to get that full roster.
and they're like $5 a piece. That's
The
for like
characters are like
$70.
$6 a pop. Yeah.
No, 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 no. If you buy that, no, they're like $1. It was like, oh no, no, you're right. It was like $25.
Yeah,
Okay, maybe I'm
per
got my
per
math wrong.
pass.
Still, and I was happy to do it.
So
but
you
it's the
didn't pay
only
60
game-
bucks for Smash. You paid 60
Like
and then
100.
you paid 25 for the first Fighters Pass, and the second Fighters Pass had an extra character and they charged you 30. So it's a $115 game.
over a longer period of time.
Uh-huh.
Which, look, dude,
I'm not saying you're wrong. I think Smash Ultimate's worth 115 bucks with
Good.
all the stuff it's got in it. Yeah.
good.
But
Okay,
it's
so-
this weird,
so it-
like, human psychological thing where if Nintendo tomorrow goes, here's a new Smash, it's got the same amount of characters as Ultimate, and it's $115, I'd be like, oh my God, what are they doing?
But if it's a brand new game,
Mm-hmm.
if it's a brand new game, so like, God, that you're inadvertently saying that they're right about GTA 6, that it should be $100 game.
I don't think any game should be $100. I don't think any game should be $80.
I'm just saying,
I
if
think
we're going,
there's
if
a-
we're going by that same logic, you know what other game would be worth $100? Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay. But it's not.
I know. So I'm just saying, like,
So I don't think, like, do I think you should pay anything beyond $60 or $70 for a game because of its quality or the amount of content? No, I think the idea of this game has more content than the standard, so we're going to charge you more for it, I think that's dumb. But
sure,
that's
I know.
I can think it's dumb all day, but that's the paradigm that we're shifting into with this. Like, Nintendo sort of opened Pandora's box with this variable pricing, and it's not going away.
I'm just saying, I don't have a weak spot for Mario Kart. I got a weak spot for Smash.
I don't have
And
I don't have a weak spot for
that's why-
Mario Kart. I look at it and I go, I would pay $50 for Mario Kart.
I'm just okay with just not having Mario Kart.
That's okay.
So-
I bought Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U like the day it came out or something.
Yeah.
And then after 8 Deluxe came out, I think it came out the same year as the Switch. I think like it was 2017.
It was something around there.
Yeah, or it was, if not, it was really close, like within the first year or something. I think I picked up Mario Kart 8 after they announced the deluxe DLC with like when you could play as Link and the Animal Crossing villager and like a bunch of new stages. They did I think there's like, well, I'm not going to paraphrase. There's a lot of new courses with like this DLC for the Switch version. And I picked up a physical copy at like a used game store, and that was like 3-4 years after the game came out. So I'm not like obsessed with Mario Kart or the idea that I have to have the newest Mario Kart. That being said, I do enjoy Mario Kart enough that I look at it, I go, I actually want to play the new Mario Kart. To me, Mario Kart World looks cool enough.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's the coolest Mario Kart I've ever seen,
Yeah.
but
It's not worth $80.
not for $80. I don't think so, dude.
But they have a system out or coming out where they're telling you you don't have to pay $80 for it. If you get in early enough, you get it for $50. And to me, $50 is absolutely worth. That's less than 8, and this game looks way bigger than 8. Like, do you understand like where I'm at? I understand the situation is like not a good one just in general, but they're telling me there's a way to pay $10 less than the standard for a game that they're going to otherwise charge $80 for if I don't get it this
To
way.
get your foot in the door so that you buy all the other overpriced items.
Well, I'm not like overpriced accessories or games because the only other game that's overpriced, I'm not getting into Zelda stuff again because that doesn't. That's another thing. But like Donkey
I'm saying
Kong,
you're locked in. You're
well,
locked
I was gonna
into
be locked in no
paying.
matter what. Like
You're
my
locked into paying $70 to $80 for every game from now on. Besides that game, because that's the only game that's going to be $50.
right, but so your solution to that would be to,
Not buy it
but not buy a Switch ever.
at all.
So, nah.
If everybody did that, Nintendo
But
would
no,
have
but
no choice
nobody's doing that.
because of people like you
Right.
that are going to
But
buy it.
if I make a statement today, it says I'm not buying a Switch 2. I did the same thing with Pokemon Sword and Shield. Guess how many copies it sold?
Yeah, I'm saying everybody's got to actually follow through.
Yeah, but they're not going to.
So what are we doing here? What are we
Complaining.
doing?
Complaining.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If everybody actually stood their ground,
But they won't. But and you know they won't. You know they won't.
so then what happened with the Wii U, Jeffrey?
What do
Why
you
did
mean?
nobody buy that thing?
Because
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it was marketed terribly, and they didn't know what it was.
so you're saying that the Switch is good enough that it justifies people overpaying. That's what I'm saying. But something has to break here. It's either not worth its price, but see the thing is it's in demand enough that people want it. The
Mm.
Wii U wasn't overpriced. The Wii U wasn't in this realm of what I'm trying to say is the Wii U only sold 13 million copies as far as we know.
Yeah.
Why? So why wasn't that flying off the shelf? So
Um.
you're saying the games are good enough. The product is good enough. That's what you're telling Nintendo.
uh,
And yet Pokemon's not good. Like it hasn't been good for a while and people are still buying it. So there has to be a reason.
there has to be a reason why people are still because they're fans of the franchise, regardless.
But then we just go and complain about it.
Well, we do, but they don't.
I don't know. I just can't I just don't see the logic. I don't see
I
the
was I
connection.
was buying a Switch 2 regardless. I don't have a problem with the Switch 2. I don't have like the 450 price tag. Didn't have a problem with it when they announced it. Don't have a problem with it now. It's not the console I have a problem with. It's the games. It's
It's
Mario
like
Kart I have
buying
a
a
problem.
boat. You're buying a boat that has a bunch of anchors attached to it. You can't drive the boat because all these anchors are attached to it until you pay, 50, 60, 70, $80 per anchor to drive the boat.
Right, but like I don't have a problem with Donkey Kong's price either. Like $70 is the standard. Whether we like that price or not, that's like that got pushed when the PS5 came out. Like Demon Souls
Yeah,
was
but what if
$70.
what if Mario Kart was coming out for
I
$70?
would not have a problem with it. We
So
would
it's ten,
we wouldn't be
so
having this conversation.
so you're I again I'm just playing devil's
Uh
advocate here.
huh.
I'm not trying to attack you personally.
Yeah. Uh huh.
Like
Sure.
your margin for what's acceptable and not acceptable, which is about this big,
Yeah.
is $10. So your issue
Well,
is
so
$10.
it's not about the $10 price tag, right? It's about the fact that it's the variable pricing. They could like the opposite.
Sure.
I'm way more excited for Donkey Kong than I am Mario Kart World, just like throwing that out there. The prices could be swapped and I would be just as upset about Donkey Kong being 80 and I would be fine with Mario Kart being 70, right?
Sure.
Because it's not about, oh, how am I going to afford 10 more dollars? It's like, I don't know, don't go get a 12 pack of soda once, then that you made up the $10 difference. I don't, like it's not about $10. It's this.
I still think we're in for I still think we're in for something. I don't think it's going to sell the same as the Switch 1 did.
I don't think it'll sell the same as Switch One. I think it'll be a DS to 3DS situation where it'll be successful but not as successful.
Yeah, but what happens when Nintendo shareholders don't make as much money as they thought that they were going to make?
I don't know,
Do
man.
you think we're going to get a 3DS? So here's the other thing. You want so hear me out. Here's the comparison I'm trying to make. poorly, I might add.
Uh-huh.
Um, so you want to be an early adapter as to avoid a price hike on Mario Kart. I get that. What if the Switch 2 has the same situation happen with the 3DS? The people who didn't wait, or the people who did wait, were rewarded with a price cut.
Do you
That's what
think
happened with the
right?
3DS.
Do you think that'll happen again?
I think if it doesn't sell well enough, there and see the thing is, this is my point that I'm trying to make to anybody who likes Nintendo and to any big company out there. They're going to test and see what BS they can get away with, and if they can't get away with it, they're going to make this look like some humanitarian issue. They're going to say, just for the good of for the good of you guys, the fans, we've cut the price by $100. I don't think they're going to go into the whole mess of variable pricing. Like, I don't think, even if they cut the console, I can't see Nintendo saying all our games are now $10 cheaper. No, they're not doing that. They're so in their own head about we know what's best and we um deserve to price our games. I don't think Nintendo's ever going to get off that hill because I feel like their ego is too big
Oh
for
yeah.
that. But the console, I can absolutely see, because again, remember, barrier to entry, Jeffrey. The barrier to entry will look so much more inviting, and they're going to look like the good guys if they're like, "Hey guys, yeah, we understand. We understand like $450 is a bit much for a console. Maybe we misjudged. Maybe we want to make it more affordable for the average family. Out of the goodness of our hearts, we've dropped the price to $400, maybe $350. Doubt it. But I could see them maybe dropping it to like $400, and then everybody says, "Oh, good on Nintendo. They lowered the price of the console." Doesn't matter. Controller's still $85. Still got like a stand for like $40. You still have $80 games. So it all that's going to do. Yeah. Look. How long did it take them to cut the 3DS? How long was it out before they cut the price?
6 months. So here's the
There you
thing.
go.
No, here's
One more
where.
thing. Hear me out. And
Mhm.
hear me out. Does this sound like a strategy to you? The Switch 2 comes out in June. And then 6 months later, about maybe five, right around the Christmas season, cut the price for the holidays. And then everybody goes and buys one for the holidays. A second release, if you will.
So here's where I think the difference. Here's why I don't think the primary reason why I don't think the 3DS situation will happen again. So the PS3, the 3DS retailed for $250 when it first came out,
Which
and
is nuts.
yeah, uh, and then they price cut it down to 170 6 months later.
Mm-hmm.
When they price cut it down to 170, they were still making a profit on the console. They were still turning around consoles and weren't selling them at a loss. Nintendo has, throughout its entire company history, has notoriously sold hardware without selling it at a loss. The Switch 2, the margin of production versus its $450 price tag is way too tight to cut it by 30% like they did with the 3DS. There's no
I
way.
don't think it's going to be cut by 30%, but still, if you look at why they cut the price on the 3DS, it was due to poor sales. There was poor adaptability, like people were not adapting to it. People were not picking it up. It was not selling.
If Nintendo was willing to sell their console at a loss, they would have cut the price of the Wii U before they saw it fail.
Well, they didn't. That's the weird part is they didn't cut
They
the
didn't.
price of the Wii U.
They would rather see the console fail and make a successor than sell the console at a loss. Hey guys, Wii
I
U's
don't know.
aren't selling. Let's sell it for a loss, like how we cut the price of the 3DS. I know we got to take a loss on it, but it'll be really consumer friendly and we'll gain public interest back. Wasn't a part of the conversation, and they let the thing die before they sold it at a loss.
Yeah, but this is I don't know. the thing is, the Switch is not a Switch U situation. It is the same console as the first one, just better in almost every single way. It's they didn't the thing is like they leapt off the deep end and took a risk on the Wii U. They made something totally different out of left field with the gamepad and everything. And so that was them saying, "All right, that didn't work. We're going to make something else." But the Switch is literally just a continuation of the same thing. I just can't see them just saying, "Well, didn't sell. We'll just make a new wacky console in 5 years."
It wouldn't be the first time. It wouldn't be the first time.
I can't see them abandoning the Switch brand after everything they've done with it.
So I think even if they couldn't sell it at a loss and they were hoping to get the price reduced, I think they would wait until hardware manufacturing was cheap enough that they could continue to sell it at profit. So like if it does reduce in cost, I don't think it's going to be 6 months down the road. I think it'll be 2, 3, maybe 4 years down the road. Maybe they'll introduce an OLED model or a light version and they'll be like, hey, on top of that, the OG model is going on, reduced cost. It'll be years down the road, I think. Even if sales are super poor, I think it'll be years down the road before we see a price cut. That being said,
I guess
the general consensus, I don't see a lot of people with having a problem with the cost of the console. That's not the dialogue here. People aren't like $450. Like I've seen maybe a handful of people in between the masses going $450 is pretty steep, but generally, like I said a few weeks ago, we live in an era where you can go out to Target right now and pay $700 for a PlayStation 5. Like that's just where the market's at right now. So like you put a Switch 2 next to a PS5 Pro, the Switch 2 is looking pretty good. It's $450 compared to the $700, or compared to the Xbox Series X's $500. Like it's still the cheapest thing on the market compared to its competitors. But the hardware is I don't have a problem with the hardware. I'm under the impression you don't have a problem with the hardware or the cost of it. And
not really.
I think you're right that like the majority, not the majority. I don't think it's the majority, but I think you will find yourself in situations where the parents are going to go, I'm not spending $450 to give to my 8-year-old so he can crash into the ground and break the Joy-Cons in half. And like, I think you'll see that sort of entry level, like those types of parents bringing their kids into the Switch 2 atmosphere when they do release that Switch 2 Lite model, 3-4 years down the road, when they can introduce it at $199 or $250 or something, which is what happened with the Switch 1. Like the majority of people that I know, like younger kids, all have Switch Lites, all of them. They don't have main Switch because it's $199. So like, I think that's like long, roadmap for the Switch 2. I think that's how it'll go down. They'll introduce a new variant, a cheaper to manufacture variant for significantly less, maybe $250. And that's the one you'll get little Jimmy for his birthday with a copy of Mario Kart for $800. Yeah, primarily the biggest controversy Nintendo's in right now is the cost of the variable pricing, the cost of Mario Kart. But I don't generally see people having an issue with the console itself, so I don't see a price drop in the near future. Even if sales are like dog water, like unless like they have like Concord levels of sales on the Switch 2, I don't think Nintendo's worried about it. I really don't.
I love how they chose this generation to finally actually give it good features.
Yeah.
It was like, give us the good with the bad. They're like, well, we got to find a way to actually get people to buy our overpriced stuff. So what we're going to do is actually put features on the console that it should have had 10 years ago.
Yeah. Guys, I don't care that you were playing with voice chat on the original Xbox back in 2003. All right, it's new. It's new. I don't care. So we're about a half hour in, and so I think our price talk is just about done. Oh wait,
No, it's not.
oh wait.
No, it's not.
Uh, Price hikes for Amiibo is hold on. I'm an Amiibo guy, or I was when they were $13 a pop back in 2014.
Yeah, now they gone up by $10.
$10 relative to their previous cost. So Street Fighter 6 Amiibo are $40 a pop.
We mean $10 from the previous cost. I thought the previous cost was $13.
So the previous cost originally announced was $20. So when Nintendo was like, here's Tears of the Kingdom Amiibo coming out, their MSRP $19.99. Then the
So
whole
that's already increased from 13.
well, oh yeah, it's been generally going up since 2014. So like the original OG Smash lineup had like Samus, Peach, Mario, Pikachu, Kirby, Villager, and like one more, $12.99. Then like the second, like I think after Smash Ultimate, or like when the Smash 4 DLC started coming out, and they started making them like a little more elaborate, a little more detailed, they went up to 16. Then certain ones, depending, I think like the Breath of the Wild, no, not Breath of the Wild, the first run of Tears of the Kingdom ones, or it's all a blur. I mean, there's so many effing Amiibo out there.
I'm not an Amiibo.
I used to be.
So I can't really say. Well, I know you used to be.
I used to be. I would go on to the Amiibo trading subreddit, and I would buy Amiibo from GameStop that I knew were high in demand because I was missing certain Amiibo, and I would post those Amiibo that I just bought on Reddit, and I would talk to people about trading. And so that's how I got my Jigglypuff Amiibo, because I traded for an extra Meta Knight that I had with some Reddit user. So I was deep, dude. I was deep in the Amiibo sauce for a while there, because they were $13 a piece. Like generally they're a little on the cheaper side, like the plastic and stuff. They're not like these $100 figures or whatever. But it was cool to just have like the little Ness and Lucas Amiibo is the only sort of Earthbound paraphernalia we're getting in the US ever. So I'll take it, get me my very niche video game representation in toy figure form. I'll take whatever I can get. Banjo, dude, little Banjo. He's sitting here on my desk. He's the only one to sit on my desk. The rest of them are in a box somewhere because I don't have room to store him right now.
Yeah, you don't even have room to put him somewhere.
I used to. I had a big ass shelf that wrapped around the corner, and that thing was filled to the brim with Amiibo. Dude, I probably have over 100 Amiibo in a box somewhere. But I'm not into it anymore, and it's because of the price. It's just, every time they announce new Amiibo, it just goes up by a couple bucks. And this last one, so when Street Fighter 6, they were like, when they showed that off at the presentation, they're like, we're doing Amiibo also. And then, retail stores popped them out and they were $30. And then as of yesterday, they just went up. Now they're $40. The Street Fighter lineup of Amiibo is $39.88 on Walmart's website. And the Tears of the Kingdom Guardian lineup was $19, and now it's $29. It's just getting too rich for my blood, dude. I can't afford. What is that?
The thing is, like, you're paying like upwards of actual high quality figurine prices.
Oh yeah,
for little tiny Amiibo.
They're so
figures.
small. Yeah, they had a couple of specialty ones where they had like the big fat Detective Pikachu one. He was like this big or something. He was actual like statue size, and I think he was like 30 or $25, something like that. But like he was just a figure at that point with an NFC chip in him. So that price didn't really, make anyone sort of tilt their head in confusion or anything. It felt normal for for what you were getting. But now I'm just like, I'm looking at like the Street Fighter one, and I'm looking at the like I like there's the Guardians from Tears of the Kingdom, the lineup, and they're not bigger. I'm sure they're more detailed
Yeah.
because like the production of them is probably better than they were back in 2014. But I'm just like, there's no world where I'm gonna drop. There's four figures at $30 a pop. I'm not spending $120 on four amiibo. You know, like $120 in
I wouldn't.
2014 could get me 10 amiibo. Now it gets me four. That's yeah, nah,
Not in this economy.
no sir. Anyway, that's it for pricing. I'm over it. Dude. I've just been. I feel like I've been way too negative lately, and I want to be more positive, and I'm trying to be. Uh, so Elder Scrolls 4 just got dropped today, and I'm actually super excited for it. And this is part of me being more optimistic and more happy. This is good news to me. I was looking at the trailer. I used to play a ton of Oblivion on my. I had this really terrible like Dell computer that could barely run anything, but somehow it ran Oblivion on the lowest settings on my computer, and I have 100 plus something hours on that one character. I was doing like I got bit by a vampire at some point, and I was doing vampire stuff, and I just had a blast with it as it came out. I think I'd gotten it for Christmas. It was one of the first like, I was never like a PC guy, until I was like in my 20s or something, or like my late teens. But like this was like that first like entry, like that first getting my foot in the door experience to actual PC gaming. Before that, it was like, like the crappy games you'd get in a cereal box, like Captain Crunch's little interactive disc on the computer, or a Tonka truck game, or Jumpstart First Grade.
You ever seen that the count I don't remember who did a review. I think JonTron did a review of it. The little the captain with the what's it called? The cinnamon toast, not cinnamon toast crunch, the berry crunch.
Yeah, the Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch. Yeah, there was a Captain Crunch PC game
Is it what the,
that you
the,
could
the
do.
little minion dudes that you can feed crunch berries and stuff to, and like, you can take them
It's so,
skateboarding?
so dumb.
That's I
It's
do.
so
I play
dumb.
that all the time. I played it all the time on my family
God.
computer. So yeah, playing Oblivion for the first time on PC was like sort of my exposure to like, oh, you can have full like console experiences on the computer. Because before, my mindset was sort of like the computer's for the internet and email and little stupid games like, Jumpstart First Grade or Math Blaster Junior or something. But Oblivion sort of opened my eyes to actual PC gaming back in the day. So to see it just shadow drop today is super cool. I'm very excited.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I know some people are like mixed on the aesthetic of it. I'm perfectly content. The trailer looks really cool, and I don't know. I'm super excited. I got a Xbox. I'm gonna hop on Game Pass and play it on there, or jump on PC Game Pass and play it there or something. But yeah, very exciting. Do you have any Oblivion memories, or like
I didn't really play Oblivion. I
no?
played Morrowind a bit. But from what I'm seeing, they upgraded a lot of stuff in Oblivion. I mean, one of the things I know is you could sprint in Oblivion now. Couldn't sprint before.
Ooh,
Couldn't run. All the DLCs included.
dope. I like
Um,
that.
all the DLC I saw is included. Um, they I think the divisive stuff is like they completely remade the combat. Like you can't they just added like a dodge button now, so that's why I hope it's just not like Dark Souls.
I had heard like through
Um
the grapevine that they had taken inspiration from Dark Souls combat. It's yeah. I'm also hoping
yeah,
that it's not just like a frame by frame. It's just Dark Souls now. it like from what I was seeing in the trailers, I haven't seen anybody play it yet, and I haven't had the chance to get my hands on it just yet. But through the trailer footage, it didn't look like it was just like 1-to-1 Dark Souls combat. It looked like there was like maybe a mixture of traditional Oblivion combat with
I'm,
some Dark Souls elements thrown
I'm
in
just
there.
thinking what people might have a problem with, but like the I know they redid all the like the lines, they re-recorded all the lines because I mean like
Yeah,
if they did, I mean Oblivion dialogue is
it's so good. It's like the campiest thing you could ever imagine. I get like why some people would want that to stay, just like for nostalgic purposes, but it's just like you really can't. Like,
no.
I mean,
Let's see.
if you
It,
really want to go extra, like if you want to be that studio that goes above and beyond, put it in the settings or something under audio. Just put like original audio
well,
dialogue or something.
the game's not a one-to-one shot remake though. Like
Oh, is it not?
not every it's not I don't think it's a one-to-one shot. I think there's like some areas and stuff. I don't want to say it's like Resident Evil, but like
They like took
it's like where
some creative liberties with it, or
I'm pretty sure it's not like a one-to-one everything.
okay,
But as far as Resident Evil goes, I kind of want the dialogue and stuff to be like that, where like you go back and play Resident Evil 1 if you want your campy, you were almost a Jill sandwich
yeah,
dialogue. When you go to play the remake on the GameCube, you're not getting that. I mean, not all the dialogue in the remake is perfect, but it's not, I've got this,
yeah.
and,
You're the master of unlocking.
you're the master of unlocking, and, oh, I had a spider bite. Ouch. And it's like, you're
Ouch.
not, yeah,
Yeah.
like you're not gonna get dialogue like that.
Which like
You're gonna
I
get real
get it.
dialogue.
Like yeah, for the Oblivion, like I guess I can see both. I feel like the people who expected it to be the same exact dialogue are kind of setting themselves up for failure. Like there's just
That's copium.
yeah, and like the original still exists, dude. You just go play that. Like it's on Steam with the remake. They're side by side in your library. Just play
That's
the
what I'm saying.
original one.
You don't need them to copy it.
Yeah.
Why even remake it if you're just gonna copy it?
I know on that sort of same note, Metal Gear Solid 3 that's coming out, I think it's this year, the remake actually takes the original dialogue from the PS2 game. There's like so it is like 1-to-1. At least the dialogue is 1-to-1 with the
That's
original.
interesting.
Yeah, it is a very interesting like way to do it. I didn't expect them to do it that way. Part of me thinks
Um,
that they just didn't want to get the voice actors in there to record lines because you could save money that way. And Konami probably doesn't have any faith in.
it's
in...
also not as dog shit as Oblivion, so
True. Yeah, and actually that's like a really good point. Oblivion's dialogue is aged like milk in the summer sun, whereas Metal Gear's is sort of like a
Metal
fine.
Gear's is fine.
It's really good actually. Like the PS2 Metal Gear Solid 3's dialogue is very well executed,
Yeah,
so it carries
I
over
definitely agree.
still. Yeah, Oblivion's is rough. Even by like the standard of when it came out, it was just like there's like 4 or 5 voice actors all carrying the hundreds of NPCs. I remember specifically thinking there's one guy that does a ton of voices. He also voices Pete from like Mickey Mouse, the big guy. Same
Yeah,
voice. And he's in there everywhere. He's the guard at the arena. He's this guy in some tavern. He's the guy that's gonna mug you up in the mountains. He's like 7,000 NPCs in that game because they had they had like 7 people come in and record the tens of
that's
thousands of
crazy.
dialogue.
I mean, that's usually how it goes back then. Like voice acting, I don't know, wasn't as prominent.
No, not at all. Yeah. So yeah, not surprised at all to hear they redid the lines. I'm actually kind of looking forward to what the new lines and stuff sound like and how they. I just want to go in there and like with a open mind and see what sort of creative liberties they took. See how I want to go in there and see everything, dude. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm not gonna definitely play it.
Low key, Xbox is having kind of a good year. Like Indiana Jones came out at the start of the year, and that got really positive reception. Avowed, I think, got decent reception. Um, then there was
Mm-hmm.
was it
Have
not
you been keeping up with Avowed?
not exactly.
You should Google it.
Oh no,
It's
what's
it's
wrong
not
with it?
terrible, but it's not great.
60%. I mean,
Um, they
eight.
lost most of their player base.
Oh, did it just like plummet? That's too bad.
Yeah, I'm not saying that everybody know. Like, I'm gonna I'm gonna pull this up. Hold up.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure the details. I heard it was well received at the time. But
When it first came out, but
I mean, isn't it? Is it? It's a single player game, right?
yeah, it's a single player. I mean, I don't remember if you can do multiplayer, but it's a single player RPG.
So I don't know. To me, if a single player RPG that came out in February, unless like the player base dipped off in like a week, that's kind of an issue. But if it's like just now dipping off, I don't think that's too suspicious, right? Unless it's like abysmal. There's like 3 people playing it right now.
Yeah, trying to look for concurrent numbers.
7 out of 10 on Steam, 7 out of 10 IGN, 82% on PC Gamer. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about it to have an opinion. Either way, I just know Obsidian. I like the stuff Obsidian does, and I just never got around to playing Avowed. But
Oh yeah. So I haven't caught up with a lot of Avowed stuff. It's it's a combination of it looks like there was a lot of lazy writing and stuff, but it didn't have as much effort put into it as other games, and not something I really want to get into on the podcast, but there's some politics in there and stuff, and
yeah. So like there's
there,
like division between like reception
there's
of.
some people that are pissed. Like some people like the game, like some people think it's a good game, but some people are mad because there's some politics in the game, like some of the
Mm.
quests and some of the creators and stuff. It's been a divisive
It's, I mean,
thing.
that's par for the course for every entry for any game coming out in the last like decade, right? Like, not every game, obviously, but there's more than your fair share of any given game where a writer or someone will go to Twitter and they'll retweet something political or they'll make a political statement or something on either side, and it's just like I just don't understand the idea of being like a person with like that has public interest, or you're involved with a product. I don't know why you make something or make a statement to alienate even like a portion of your possible player base. It just it's counterproductive to me. But that's a topic I'm not wanting to get into. But okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I thought Avowed was a lot more well received, but
it's not doing super well.
um, all right, so screw that game. F that game, dude. It's not part of my Xbox is doing good list anymore. Um, but there was, yeah, the Oblivion remake. Indiana Jones was well received. Expedition 33 is coming out, which looks super sick. I don't know if you know anything about this game. I think it was at the Game Awards
Not
last year.
not
The
really.
trailer looks awesome. It's like a RPG type game, and it looks really good. And I think it's done. I don't know who does it actually. I can't use Google. I'm fumbling bad. Who does Expedition 33? Sandfall Interactive. I'm pretty sure it's associated with Xbox in one way. Maybe they own Sandfall. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm just spouting garbage, but I don't know. I heard through the grapevine that it was associated with Xbox in some way, and it just got me thinking that maybe 2025 is Xbox's year. In the heat of PlayStation increasing the prices of their console and Nintendo fumbling the bag with their variable pricing, Xbox is going to crawl out of the shadows like it's our time to shine, baby. And they have their presentation coming out in June, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Between Oblivion just dropping, I'm thinking Oblivion just shadow dropping like this makes me kind of eyeball the presentation a little more that's coming out in June, because like if you want to get the Elder Scrolls sort of in the public's eye, there's no better way to do that than just shadow drop a remake of, one of the more better received entries. And then, because, we could do Skyrim again. No one's going to care because it's happened 800 times, but ground up remake to Oblivion. And then 2 months later, you start giving out information for Elder Scrolls 6. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, they got people talking about it.
Yeah. But I'm excited for Oblivion. Xbox seems to be doing their thing, maybe peeking out of the shadows a little bit. But that's all I got for news stuff. But I did want to talk about the GameCube NSO.
Yeah.
I'm a GameCube kid. This is my jam. So I'm personally super excited about GameCube, and you can get into the whole spiel of the NSO as like a platform, and I'm not here to talk about that. I just want to talk about potential GameCube games coming to the NSO platform.
Sure.
They already announced a handful. Day one, they're doing Wind Waker, they're doing Soul Calibur 2, they're doing F-Zero GX, and then they announced Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance, Pokemon XD, Mario Strikers, Chibi Robo, Luigi's Mansion, and
Pokemon XD.
Yeah, XD. And Pokemon Coliseum.
What's Pokemon XD?
It's the sequel to Coliseum. It's got like a whole storyline to it.
I don't remember that one.
It's good. It's good. I
played Stadium 1 and 2.
Stadium 1 and 2 is goated. Coliseum's really good.
I played Coliseum.
Coliseum has like a whole ass like storyline dedicated to it. Like it was like the first like story Pokemon game. Like I'm not gonna call it like a mainline entry, right? But it felt like a mainline entry because it had like a whole adventure mode tied to it, and then XD had the same thing. Like it was a direct sequel to Coliseum, and both games are super good. And I haven't played them since they came out, so I'm looking forward to giving them another try. That being said, there are some games that are questionably not on this list. They haven't announced some games that I'm really looking forward to, or would really look forward to if they do get announced. And I asked Ryan to write down a couple of games from GameCube that he would like to see, and I wrote some down, and we're just going to go through those. And I'm going to start with Animal Crossing is my number one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Animal Crossing was like a defining chapter of my childhood. Something about Animal Crossing. I've told this story before, and maybe you've heard it already. But I remember playing Wind Waker on my game. I'm in my room. I'm like, when did Wind Waker come out? 2001. 2002. I'm 11 years old. I'm 11 years old. Ha ha ha! Played Wind Waker on my GameCube.
2002.
I just get done with the Tower of the Gods, and so I take the boat down into like under the sea,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm exploring this area and I have no idea what it is. And my child brain is like, oh my God. Right?
Yeah.
Seconds
Oh.
later, my bedroom door gets kicked down. It's my older brother. I just got back from Blockbuster. I rented Animal Crossing. Turn that off. We're playing Animal Crossing now. So,
Wow, what a dick.
yeah, I know. My game gets turned off. No, it gets worse. My game gets turned off. We boot up Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing goes, hey, you can't play this game unless you have an empty memory card in your console.
Empty.
Yeah, so every copy of Animal Crossing on the GameCube came with a 52, 59 block memory card.
I don't remember how many blocks. I remember the white ones were the biggest ones.
Yeah, so it came with an Animal Crossing one. With every copy of Animal Crossing came with a memory card because technically Animal Crossing is an N64 game, and it just downloads the entire N64 ROM onto the memory card, and that's how it runs the game. So it just needs the whole ass memory card to run this game. My brother goes, need a whole memory card? Okay. Formats my memory card through like Animal Crossing. So all of my save data across all of my GameCube games, gone for a 2-day Blockbuster rental.
What the heck?
Yeah. So I had,
Which brother was this? Jeremy? Or?
yeah, that was Jeremy. Turd. Scarred me forever. I'm 20 years later. I'm still talking about it. So
I want to talk to him about that.
he probably
later
doesn't
today.
remember. He probably doesn't remember.
Yeah, but you remember.
I remember. I'll never forget. I'll be 60 years old telling that story. Be like, remember when you deleted my Wind Waker save file and my Luigi's Mansion save file? He'll be like, no.
Like, no, it didn't happen.
Yeah. But Animal Crossing, I think we picked up an actual copy of it maybe like a week or 2 weeks later, and actually got a dedicated memory card. And then a cousin that I was really close to also had a GameCube and her own copy of Animal Crossing. And so she would bring over her GameCube, a miniature, like one of the TVs that had like the VCR attachment to it. And we would just be in my room with 2 GameCubes, 2 TVs, and 2 copies of Animal Crossing. And we just play Animal Crossing at the same time. It was awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. All right, what you got?
Well, I'll just throw out a couple obvious ones, but like if Wind Waker's on there, where's Twilight Princess?
Yep, that's
Why
on
would that not be
my
on
list
there?
as well.
Because the thing is, I would care very much less about Wind Waker or Twilight Princess if we were getting the HD ports to Switch or something. I mean, I guess you'd have to pay $70 or $80 for that.
Probably.
But at least you would have one of those versions. So on the Switch 2, I'm just thinking about, I want to play Wind Waker on my Switch 2. Can I do that? There is a way.
There is a
to
way.
do that. There's a way. So when it comes to Twilight Princess, is there a way to do that? No.
Not yet.
So, but that's what I'm saying. So that needs to be on there. Another couple obvious ones. I mean, well, I say obvious ones. What I'd like to see. Well, this is a personal one for me.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil remake, Resident Evil 0.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have Resident Evil remake.
I am curious because like in situations like the NSO, the ball is entirely in the third party's court, right? So like if Capcom wants to put those games in NSO, that's entirely up to. I wonder if they'll do it actually.
Here's another. Here, I'm just gonna go through my whole list.
Sure.
And then I'll let you go. Through
I'll
your
double
whole
back
list.
and finish my list off after you're done. Yeah.
I'm not gonna linger on these.
Okay.
So here's a out of left field one, and before I even say what this is gonna be, I imagine it would be, couch co-op only.
Oh,
Melee.
Melee. Yeah.
Melee. But
No, they won't do count. So every single NSO, it would be, oh my God, it would be unprecedented if they were like, Smash Melee is coming to NSO, and on the bottom it's like local multiplayer only, online disabled or something. That would be wild because they've never done that across any NSO game ever. Like NES, Super Nintendo, N64, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, like all of these like other versions of NSO, every single one of those multiplayer games can be accessed online. So for them to
Yeah.
do only Melee, to be like, nah, nope, nice try. That would be crazy.
Well, but then again, if you're thinking about it, why would you play Melee on the NSO when you can just go play it on Slippy?
So I
Like,
actually that's a good uh, a point I wanted to make. Well, not really a point, but a point I wanted to bring up. I think you and I specifically sort of have this bubble where we are very open to the idea of, oh, just get, dude, you want to play Twilight Princess, just get an HD texture pack and play the 4K version on Dolphin. Like, we know how to do that, right? The average
sure.
person does not know how to do that. Like, there's this barrier of entry. I have firsthand experiences of trying to show people things like emulation, or like trying to get I tried to get my younger brother to play a randomizer with me, and we got like maybe 20 minutes into it, and he's like, what, this is really confusing. And it is, but once like
Setting it up, but once it's set up, it's pretty cool.
right, yeah, it's super cool. But it's this barrier of entry. I've literally had situations trying to show like a cousin how to set up emulation, and the second the emulator comes up and you go, oh, all you got to do is put the ROM file in this folder. No, you lost them. You lost them. It's they have no idea, and they don't want to know how. It's so much simpler for them to have this Netflix style library of just games they can
Yeah.
pick up and play with their friends. It is so
Well,
infinitely more accessible for, so like for the majority of people that aren't
even so,
in these like bubbles
but
like you and me.
but the problem is that the online would be shit.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt.
Why would I play Melee? Why would you play Melee on NSO? It's not going to be good.
You and I wouldn't. I mean, I might just to say I did. But
Yeah, I could eat cat poop just to say I did, but
I'm telling you, getting my cousin or my friends or my younger brother to download and install and upload a ROM to Slippy is, it's just not going to happen. Instead, I can go, hey, hop on your Switch. Let's play a few rounds of Smash on NSO. Even if it's bad, they'll go,
yeah.
okay. Even if it's like, oh, I didn't get this
No,
grab because
they're
there's
never
there's ten there's 10 frames of lag. I didn't
they're never gonna put Melee on NSO. But the other ones I put on here is the Pikmin games.
Oh
Just
yeah,
put Pikmin one. Just put
Pikmin 1 and
Pikmin
2
one
would
and
be
two on there.
awesome. Yeah.
Put Pikmin 1 and 2 on there. That's free. Like, come on, just do it.
I think
The other ones,
they already have Switch ports of 1 and 2. I believe. But
well, yeah,
that's not to
the
stop
other
them.
ones
Yeah.
the other ones that I really want to see, and these are kind of like I saved. I kind of went from the bottom up.
Yeah.
I mean, Resident Evil's great. I'm not like hoping for it, even though Resident Evil's my favorite game. I got the remastered PC port and all that. I don't need.
Yeah.
But on NSO, the two things that I really want to see that I would actually get on there to play,
Mhm.
because if it had online support for co-op and stuff, all the Mario Party games,
What, 4 through 7?
4 through 8.
8. Yeah,
I
4
believe
through
it is.
8.
There's four of them. Oh, it's four.
Jeez.
There's 4, 5. No, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There's four of them. So
Okay.
8 is Wii,
Yeah.
9 is Wii, and then 10 is Wii U.
Yeah.
Wii U only had one of them.
So 4 through 7
So,
Mario Party would be sick.
yeah,
Yeah.
you got 4, 5, 6, and 7 because I want to play more Mario Party games, but you guys don't want to do it on Dolphin Sketch, and then everyone's got to have it. Super Mario Party or whatever. Like I just it would be a lot easier if you just get on
Hop
there
on
and play.
NSO and yeah. Yeah, 4 through
Assuming,
7
well,
would be super cool.
but again, this wish list is assuming somebody has the
Guess
$50 a year, whatever. But the Mario Party games are what I'd like to see on there. I would actually play those. I love just being able to play any of the Mario Party games.
Mhm.
I'm like, if you like, when it comes to Mario Kart, everybody's like, oh, I love Mario Kart, it's great. Like, I like Mario Kart, but I'm just kind of like, when it comes to Mario Kart. I love Mario Party. I love being able to get 3 or 4 people together just to play Mario Party. It's so fun.
Hmm.
I love Mario Party. I love board games. So seeing Mario Party on the NSO 4 through 7 would be great for GameCube. I want 1 through 3 for N64. I didn't even check if those are on
I
there.
think.
Um,
Oh, actually, I don't
that would be
know.
dope. That would be so dope. But put all the Mario Party games in there, 1 through all of them. Just do all of them. Come on. Um, but yeah, check for me. Do they have?
They
I haven't checked the
have.
N64.
Um,
They have that at least one, right?
Let me check N64 Switch Online. What's the current library?
Oh, there's
Oh,
Paper
yeah, Mario
Mario.
Party 1, 2, and 3 is on there. Yep,
There you go. We got to play that sometime.
we should.
Didn't even know.
Yeah, we should.
Didn't even know. Three is goated. Three's the best
It's
Mario
so
Party
funny.
game.
So growing up, well, even like into adulthood, I've heard for the N64, everyone loves 3, and for the GameCube, I think the fan favorite is 4.
Four is really good.
So growing up, 3 was the only Mario Party on the N64 I did not have, and 4 was the only Mario Party I didn't have for the GameCube.
We had them all. We had every single one.
I had
My
5,
sister
6, and
was
7
obsessed with it.
on the GameCube, and I had 1 and 2
Oh,
on the
so
N64.
two's really good as
I
well.
love
And
2. Yeah.
I don't hate one, but the problem with Mario Party 1 is I'm not even exaggerating because Nintendo had to give out white gloves with the game.
Yeah.
I destroyed my original. So I have 4 N64 controllers. I'm just gonna say, anybody who's played Mario Party 1 will be able to
Oh, they
testify
know.
to this.
They know.
I have 4 N64 controllers, original ones from when I was a kid. I have the original gray one that came with my console. I have a green one, a red one, and a blue one. My blue one is the one I replaced the stick with. It's in really good condition. And then I bought the extra gold one that I use for like when we used to do our randos. But the original controller, the gray one, is absolutely destroyed. That stick wobbles
Oh
around
yeah. Oh, you just
like
like
all
you
over
just,
the place.
just shake it and it's just
And
everywhere.
and you want to know why? Because I don't know what Nintendo was on with this. They had to have put a better stick in the controller, but it's like they're like, hey guys, 1 in 3 mini games, you got to do this. You got to
Hmm.
do this with your hand. 1 in 3 mini games, you have to do this and spin the stick really fast. And I swear, like my right hand was torn to shreds.
Yeah.
My hand was my palm was torn to shreds. That
Absolutely blistered. Yeah.
the control stick was torn to shreds. And so Mario Party 1 is really fun. But I don't like to play it because 1 out of 3 mini games is just like, maybe with a modern controller it won't be so bad, but my God,
It was
the
brutal.
the
It was
spin the
brutal.
stick mini game. But two's really good as well. 2 has a lot of F your opponent mechanics. 3 is really great. 4 is really great. 5, 6, and 7 feel kind of copy paste, but they all have really good mini games.
No, they're good.
Um,
5, did they does 4 have the capsule mechanic?
I don't remember. The GameCube ones are kind of a blur. My sister bought them all, and we played them I can't. I'm just saying, there's nothing wrong with 4 through 7. I just can't. I couldn't tell you which one is which.
Mm.
Whereas
I
like
think that's
one,
fair. They're all kind of like
one,
aesthetically the same.
I can differentiate 1 through 3 pretty well, but 4 through 7, I'm like, eh. No, I like them. I'm just saying I couldn't tell you the difference.
Yeah.
And then, but
That would be
my
hype.
last,
That'd be super
my
hype.
last, my last wish for the GameCube NSO, and probably my most desired game, and it's 2 games actually, especially if it has online co-op. Can you think of what it might be? It's 2 games.
2 games.
It's 2 games.
Like bundled in one, or is it like part of a series?
There's a game that came out, and then there's this game 2
2. On the GameCube.
on the GameCube, and it's co-op, and if it comes out on the NSO, we're getting on there and we're playing it.
Co-op. I have no idea.
It's one of my favorite games on the GameCube. Dude, Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2.
Oh, no, yeah. I was never gonna guess that.
Dipshit.
I was never gonna guess that. Not in a million
Dude,
years.
Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2 are some of the most fun times I've ever had on the GameCube. If you don't count like Melee or Resident Evil or whatever, or Zelda, like any of these mainstream games, Super Monkey Ball, especially 2. 1 is great, 2 is perfect. the campaign is really fun with your friends, and the mini games are really fun. I want those games on the NSO, and I want them now. That's actually like if they announced that, I'd be so pumped. I would actually buy the because right now I think I have the $20 a year
Oh yeah, you don't have
NSO or whatever.
the expansion pass.
Um, I just renewed it for Smash Online. Um, but yeah, but here's the problem. And again, I'm not trying to be negative, but let's say like, man, they release all the games I want, especially the multiplayer ones.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna get PK to buy that. You're not gonna get other people to buy that. Like maybe
I,
you and
I
I'll buy it,
I
but
already have it, so like I never stopped having it.
well,
It's
I would love to.
not that big of a commitment, especially considering like Xbox is $15 a month. PlayStation just upped their stuff to like $23 a month. So it's like in the grand
Well,
scheme, it's really not
that's
that
because
bad.
Nintendo's online's not
Yeah, no,
good.
I don't pay for Switch Online to play games online. I pay for Switch Online for the NSO content. I use that stuff all the time.
But it's still a drip feed.
It is, but it's like a lot of the first party stuff on there is already there. So it's like a lot of the stuff that I'm like, oh, where's Chrono Trigger? It's a Square Enix game. Where are the Mega Mans? That's Capcom. Where's the Castlevania? That's Konami. So it's like it's all on these third parties that are going. We can just sell collections on Steam and Switch and stuff. We don't need our games on NSO. So it's like you're probably not going to find those third parties in these kinds of services unless Nintendo's willing to sweeten the pot on their end, which I I doubt it. But I don't know. I have
That's what I want. I want Monkey Ball.
I have expansion pass for all this Nintendo like first party retro stuff. I'm not going. I'm spending $50 a month so I can play Smash Ultimate online. Like no. But GameCube, I'm super excited about. Animal Crossing was my first pick. Melee was my second pick. And Mario Kart Double Dash was one that I put on here.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I like the mechanics in that one.
Double Dash is super fun. I never actually owned it as a kid growing up, but I rented it constantly. I think I rented it probably 5 or 6 times over the course of like a summer, or something like that, just to unlock all the characters. And yeah, it's a super fun game. The mechanics are really interesting. I really like being able to flip flop back and forth between the two characters. And I like the like little team names and stuff you got for picking certain like combinations of characters, or like you get like different weight classes or get like different carts aesthetically to match whatever team you were lined up with. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
And one third party that I'd love to see, that I've never actually played but I've always wanted to, was Beautiful Joe 1 and 2. I would love to see on NSO.
I like Beautiful Joe, yeah.
I never got a chance to play it. There's not really a place to play it right now. Like there's no HD collection. There's no like PC port. It's kind of just locked to time behind the GameCube. And I'd love to see it on NSO so I could finally give it a try, because I just never got around to it. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm well versed enough in, like we mentioned earlier, like things like emulation where I could try it at my leisure, but it's just not in my like, it's not on my radar. But if they're like, hey, here's Beautiful Joe coming out on GameCube tomorrow, I'd be like, it's on my radar now. That's what I'm playing. Give me an excuse to finally, get out there and give it a try. Because it looks super flashy and stylish and stuff, and I like the graphical style, and I always hear people like give it a ton of praises and stuff, so I finally want to be able to try it. What else? I didn't write it down, but just throwing a few out there. Like Star Fox Assault would be kind of cool.
I like Assault.
Yeah, Assault was fun. I wouldn't mind Star Fox Adventures. I know it's not everyone's favorite Star Fox, but if you take away the if you take away what makes a Star Fox game a Star Fox. And if they advertised it as it's a Star Fox adventure game, kind of like a Zelda game, if you look at it through that lens, it's a pretty decent time. But you just got to get over the fact that just because Fox McCloud's in it doesn't make it a rail shooter. Anyway, those are my picks for GameCube. I'm sure there's plenty I missed. I was gonna put WarioWare on here because I grew up playing WarioWare on the GameCube, but that GameCube game is just a port of the Game Boy Advance game, which is already on Game Boy Advance NSO. So I don't need it. I already have it.
You want to know what game I forgot that I actually really like that I would love to see on there?
Huh?
You ever played Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem?
I've never played it, but if it was on NSO, I would play it.
Yeah, Eternal Darkness is really good. And then the other one I was thinking of before I forgot, I can't remember.
He forgot again.
There's the N64 version, and then there's a GameCube version. The 4-player beat 'em up dungeon game.
Like Gauntlet.
Gauntlet. So there's Gauntlet for N64, and there's Gauntlet Legends for GameCube. Having Gauntlet Legends on the NSO would be so sick.
That'd be cool.
Because that is a sick ass multiplayer game to play.
I'd play it. I'd play the hell out of it. I'm just
really good.
I'm just super excited for GameCube. I know like the NSO system is like notoriously annoying because of its drip feed but like GameCube, we're now getting into the territory where I'm just like N64 is cool. I love Super Nintendo. NES is neat, like for like the nostalgia or whatever. But now we're sort of getting into the realms of like, oh, like this is shit I vividly remember. And I'm super excited. Like, I mean, I remember things like Ocarina of Time and Mario 64 just because I never stopped playing those games. But like, what was the game? Like, Yoshi Story, and what's that one game we played like a year ago, the Operation Winback or whatever on the NSO. It's like the multiplayer shooter game.
Oh yeah, no, I want to play that.
It was super fun, but it's just like I don't have any nostalgia for it, or like, and it's clunky as hell. But like the GameCube, we're entering that era where like the 3D era is a lot more polished. Like games are a lot cleaner. They run a lot smoother. The N64 was the era of 3D jank, and the GameCube cleaned it up a lot. So give me Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix on NSO, and send me Dance Pad, please.
Yeah.
That's gonna do it that's all the talking points I had. I'm glad we ended on a positive note. I'm very excited for Elder Scrolls. I'm very excited for
Give me
GameCube.
Monkey Ball. Give me Monkey
Ball, please. Actually, they did a remaster of 1 or 2 like a year or two ago, right? Yeah. Did you play that?
They did a Monkey Ball. I have it on my Steam. I'll have to check. It's
Banana Mania.
Yeah, it's called Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania.
Banana Mania. Yeah, I haven't checked that out either, but it's on my list of games to play. All right, that's gonna do it for us. Thanks for tuning in, and we promise we'll get off the price stuff moving forward. We'll be more positive moving forward. A little more positive.
We can have a little bit more positivity.
We should be able to have a little bit of negativity, but mostly positive. Positive. Thanks for tuning in. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.